You're a fertilized egg drifting through warm water near the surface of the ocean. After a few days, your body changes and develops tiny hair-like structures that push you forward through the water. You're a planula larva now, swimming downward toward the rocky bottom, where the light fades and plankton clouds spin in the current. Your body brushes against a rock covered in algae. You press against it and release a sticky substance that glues you in place. Over the next few hours, your body flattens and stretches, growing a tube with a ring of tentacles at the top. You've become a polyp, rooted to the stone. Your mouth opens at the center of your tentacles. The current brings microscopic organisms close, and your tentacles wave slowly, catching them and pulling them inward. You swallow and begin to grow, your body lengthening and budding copies of itself. Then, one bud changes shape, pinching off and forming a tiny bell with tentacles underneath. The bud breaks free and drifts upward. You are that form now, pulsing your bell and swimming away from the rock in jerky bursts. Other buds release around you, all identical and swimming in different directions. Within minutes, you're alone in open water. That's when you spot something, a small crustacean drifting past. Your tentacles swing toward it and wrap around its body, making your stinging cells fire. The crustacean stops moving, and you pull it toward your mouth, swallowing it whole. That's your first meal. Then a shadow moves above you. A small fish drops through the water with its mouth opening wide. You pulse your bell hard, swimming sideways and down. The fish snaps where you were and pauses, trying to track you. But you pulse again. Your translucent body is nearly invisible, so the fish turns away to chase something easier. You drift deeper. Your body is fragile and barely a few millimeters across, but you don't need to survive forever, just long enough to grow up. You're 6 weeks old now. Your bell has grown to adult size, about 4 millimeters across, and structures inside your body now produce eggs or sperm. You're drifting through a plankton bloom when another immortal jellyfish passes nearby, releasing clouds of cells into the water. You do the same, pulsing your bell to push them outward where they mix and drift away in the current. That's reproduction. The fertilized eggs will settle somewhere far from here and start the cycle again, just like you did. You continue hunting through the bloom, with your tentacles catching copepods. Then you spot something moving ahead. A sea turtle drops down with its mouth open wide, scanning the swarm of jellyfish. Its beak clamps onto your bell before you can pulse away. The bite tears through your body, ripping away tissue and severing 2 tentacles. The turtle swallows and swims off toward another jellyfish. You try to pulse, but your bell is too damaged, so you sink toward the bottom with your remaining tentacles trailing behind you. You hit the ocean floor and tip onto your side. That's when your body begins to change. Your bell flattens and pulls inward while your tentacles shorten and thicken. The cells inside you reorganize, transforming from medusa structures back into polyp structures. Within hours, you've attached to a rock as a small polyp, your body completely reformed. The injury is gone, the turtle is gone, and when you're ready, you'll grow up again. You're 2 years old now, though your body has reset 47 times since birth. Each time you've been injured or starved, you've transformed back into a polyp and released a new medusa. That's how you survive. Right now, you're swimming through open water where the plankton is thin and scattered. Your tentacles drift through empty currents, searching for prey that isn't there. Days pass with nothing to catch, and your bell begins to shrink as your body consumes itself for energy. Your pulses become slower and weaker. The current pushes you sideways into a rocky area where large anemones cling to the stones with their tentacles swaying in the flow. You try to pulse away, but your body barely responds. That's when one of the anemones strikes. Its tentacles lash out and wrap around your bell. You pulse once, trying to break free, but the anemone pulls you closer toward its mouth. More tentacles wrap around you and the stings spread through your body, making your bell stop contracting. You go limp in its grip. The anemone begins pulling you toward the opening at its center, but then you start to sink. Your body is too damaged and too starved to stay buoyant, so you drop from its tentacles and hit the rocky bottom just below it. Your cells begin reorganizing immediately. Within hours, you've attached to the stone in the shadow of the anemone that nearly killed you. Your polyp body filters microscopic particles from the water, slowly rebuilding your energy. Days later, your polyp buds and releases a new medusa. You pulse upward into open water, away from the anemone. Your body is young and undamaged again. Down here, most things only get one chance. You might be different. Skip forward, and you're 23 years old now, resetting for the 286th time. Dying isn't the end anymore, it's just a way to start over. That's when a box jellyfish appears, moving through the cloud with its long tentacles trailing in wide loops. You pulse sideways, trying to avoid it, but it changes direction. Its tentacles sweep through the water and collide with yours, both of you stinging each other. Your bell convulses as venom spreads through your tissue, making your muscles lock. The box jellyfish venom is stronger than anything you've faced, so your body starts shutting down. You sink toward the reef and land on living coral. Your cells reorganize immediately. Within hours, you've attached to the coral surface. But this time, something different happens. Your polyp starts budding multiple copies along your base, each one connected to you, creating a small colony. Days pass, and the colony grows larger, spreading across the surface. Then all the polyps release medusa at once. Dozens of jellyfish detach and pulse upward, each one carrying your pattern. The box jellyfish is still hunting nearby, but now there are too many of you. Death just taught you something new. It doesn't just reset you, it multiplies you. And the more times you die, the more of you there will be. You're 157 years old now. Your original body has split and reformed thousands of times, and you exist as dozens of medusa across the same reef system. Some of your bodies drift through shallow water, while others pulse along the bottom, all of them hunting in the same area. Several of your medusa move through a thick plankton patch, together with their tentacles sweeping through the cloud. That's when a jellyfish-eating nudibranch crawls along a rock below, scanning the water for prey. One of your bodies drifts too close, and the nudibranch lunges upward with its mouth opening. It clamps onto the bell and begins tearing chunks away, swallowing them piece by piece until nothing remains. That body is gone completely. But the rest of your medusa keep hunting nearby, unaffected by the loss. Then the water begins moving differently. A storm is pushing waves across the surface, creating powerful currents that pull and twist everything below. Your bodies scatter in different directions as the turbulence rips through the reef. Most of your medusa get slammed into rocks or torn apart by the violent water, their tissue shredding beyond repair. Only 2 bodies survive. Both sink to the bottom in different locations, miles apart from each other. Your cells reorganize, and within hours, 2 separate polyp colonies begin forming on distant rocks. Each colony grows and buds, creating dozens of new polyps connected together. Days later, both colonies release medusa at the same time. Each polyp produces multiple jellyfish, so what started as 2 bodies becomes hundreds. The new swarm spreads across the reef system, some staying near the colonies while others drift into open water. Skip forward and you're 543 years old. Your descendants and clones number in the tens of thousands, and you've spread to 3 different seas. Some of your polyps have attached to ship hulls, clinging to the metal as the vessels move between ports. One ship crosses an entire ocean, with dozens of your polyps hidden on its underside. When it reaches a bay, thousands of miles from where you started, the polyps release medusa into completely new water. The local predators don't recognize you, so they ignore your swarm as it spreads through the harbor. A massive plankton bloom fills the bay, and your bodies reproduce faster than anything native to the area. Moon jellies drift through the same water, competing for the same food. But when they die, they stay dead. And when you die, you transform and come back. Within months, your swarm dominates the bay with thousands of medusa pulsing through every depth. Then the water temperature drops. Winter arrives, and the cold spreads through the bay, making the surface freeze in places. Thousands of your medusa die within days, their bodies sinking to the bottom as the temperature keeps falling. The moon jellies die too, their population collapsing as the bay freezes over. But your polyps survive. They're attached to rocks, pilings, and ship hulls, and their bodies can withstand the cold that kills medusa. The polyps stay dormant through the entire winter, filtering what little food drifts past them in the frozen water. Spring comes, and the ice melts. The water warms, and plankton blooms again. Your polyps respond immediately, budding and releasing thousands of new medusa into the bay. Within weeks, your swarm fills the water again, larger than it was before winter started. Winter killed thousands of you in days, but it didn't kill you. The polyps waited in the cold, patient and still, ready to rebuild everything the moment conditions improved. You're 1,321 years old. One of your bodies drifts through familiar water with its bell pulsing steadily, hunting copepods like it has done thousands of times before. The day seems normal, just another cycle in an existence that has lasted over a millennium. That's when a cloud of tiny larvae appears in the water ahead. They're parasites, thousands of them drifting in a dense swarm. Your body pulses straight into the cloud, and the larvae attach to your bell immediately. They burrow into your tissue, spreading through your body faster than your cells can react. You try to transform. Your bell begins to flatten, and your tentacles start to retract, the familiar process of reversal beginning like it always has. But the parasites are already deep inside, disrupting the cells as they try to reorganize. Your tissue can't decide what it's becoming, stuck between medusa and polyp with neither form completing. Your cells stop working together. They break apart and drift away separately into the dark water, scattering in different directions. Somewhere in the ocean, millions of bodies that carry your genetics still pulse and feed and transform. But this one, the one the parasites found, is gone. Life as an immortal jellyfish might be rough, but there's another animal out there that has it way worse. Trust me, it's wild. Check out the video and see for yourself.